Good afternoon, everyone. Today in this video we're going to be talking about conditional not conditional rendering. We spoke about conditional rendering 2 days ago. We're going to be talking about dynamic rendering in React. What this means is that you're going to be able to render stuff on screen without explicitly writing out the code for those number of things. So this is an example. An example is, imagine you want to have we have a card here. So imagine you want to have hundreds of these cards, maybe like 400 of these cards. Now, it's obviously counterintuitive to render card 400 times. Yes, you can do it. You can copy this card and press V each time, save it. Right, so we have a number of cards, and those number of cards will be rendered in the DOM. So I want to correct something. I want to correct something in the CSS. So what I did in side by side, so I want to change the flex direction to column. Right, and maybe give it a so I can remove this from center, maybe space between. So this is just correct the CSS. Okay, so I want to give some space in between each card. So I want to give it a margin, maybe margin bottom, margin. So I'll give this maybe 10 pixels, then 0. So that should space it out. Okay, so I have a series of cards. All the cards are rendered out. So what I want to show is how to dynamically render this card component inside the app component without like typing out card a couple of times. In practice, this card now might be used to like display. Let's use Netflix as an example. If you go to the Netflix website, you see some cards that have the name of the movie, the title, and stuff like that, and it's gotten from like a database. So each of those card components are exactly the same. Let me give you an example. Let me see if I can go to the website. I hope Netflix has a good example. So, okay, let me use this as an example. You can see that these boxes now are exactly the same. The only difference between each of these boxes is what is written here, the data inside, what is Netflix, how much does it cost. But the boxes are exactly the same. So instead of rendering out each individual box and typing out this, maybe via props or something, there's a way you can dynamically render out each of these boxes without explicitly typing out each box, the code for each of the box components there. So that's exactly what I'm going to teach you. So if you do not understand what I mean, maybe when I show you an example, it will make sense. So the way you can do that is usually with arrays and array functions like .map. So .map is an array function that takes a function as an attribute, and inside that function you can do a couple of cool things. So first of all, I'm just going to create an array, maybe const items. Right, I'm going to equate to an empty array for now. Right, I'm going to equate to an empty array. You know what? I'm going to write out 10 numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this is an array that consists of 10 numbers. And what I want to do is that for each of these numbers inside the array, I want to render a new box. So what that means is that this box or this card, the card is just a div, an empty div with a title in an h1. As you can see, it's just an empty div with a title as an h1, which says card 1 in this case. I should really correct something. I think I can remove this, which just says card 1. So I want it to read card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, card 5 to card 10. and I don't want to render this 10 times. I want to do it dynamically. So what I can do is I can cut out this, right, and carry the name of the items. As I said, dot map is an array function or an array method, so I can carry items and call dot map on it. So what this does is that it then takes in a function as an argument. So you write in an anonymous function inside. So create an anonymous function inside. So we have an anonymous function inside. And what you can now do is you can copy back this card, write V, and what would then happen is that it will render out 10 cards, or it should, in case there's an error, it should render out 10 cards. So there's a mistake. I don't know if I'm supposed to write the return. Okay, I think I know the problem. So as you can see now, it has rendered 10 cards. So this just worked by calling dot map on this items array and returning a card. So what this does is that for each item in this array, it returns a new card inside. So what we can do now is that we can give each item in this array a name. So let's just call it item, like just item, right? So for the first one, item will be like what? 1, then 2, then 3. Then this number, let's put item there. Let's see what happens. You can see it counts card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, card 5, card 6, up to card 10. So what this is actually is that this item is a number that represents each item in the items array. So the first time .map returns this card, item will be 1. The second time it will be 2. The third time it will be 3. The fourth time it will be 4. The fifth time it will be 5. So if I change this to like 50, for instance, you can see that the third card is 50. So as I said, this item just represents each of what is inside here. So what can be inside here can be a number, can be an object, can be variables, anything you want to put inside this array can be anything. But the .map just calls a function for each of those items inside the array. And in this case, each of these items is called item. So the first time it runs, item is 1, the next time is 2, the next time is 50, next time is 4, 5, and the rest. So let me change this back to 3. So as you can see, the way this is useful is that in practice, if you are using an API and it returns a JSON, which you then change to an array or an object, you can now call .map to create a component based on each and every piece of data inside that array or that JSON or that object you are giving back as a result from the API call. So that's all the basics you need for now with the .map function array and how to dynamically render components in React. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the .filter, which is very, very similar to .map but does something a little bit different. So that's been it. See you tomorrow. Thank you.